नक्षत्र
नमस्कार नक्षत्र न्यूज रो स्वतंत्र आलोचना को स्वागत करुछि मु सुप्रिया। आज आमे पहुंचीचे inDNA लाइफ साइंस को एवं आम सहित अछंती डॉक्टर वीरेंद्रनाथ बैनर्जी अछंती जे कि फाउंडर एवं मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर inDNA लाइफ साइंस रो आपन को स्वागत करुछि नक्षत्र न्यूज को। डॉक्टर बैनर्जी आमे आगो को बहुत किछि आलोचना करबा किंतु प्रथमे मु जानिया को चाहूछि नाटा inDNA काहे कि।
नमस्कार एंड inDNA आप सब जानते आफ्टर कोविड DNA has become a household name and DNA has encompassed every barrier in the world and आमर जन्म होची गोटे single cell. We start our journey as a single cell in mother's womb. Now say cell को चालना करे DNA. हाफ DNA फ्रॉम फादर एंड हाफ DNA फ्रॉम द मदर मिसिकरी गोटे सेल तैयार होए से सेल रे नाम जाइगोट से जाइगोट परे होए हमरो 38 वीक्स परे हमरो गोटे छुआ बा जियो तैयार होए। नाउ इफ वी वांट टू सी द चेंजेस इन आवर लाइफ व्हिच इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डिजीज वी हैव टू लुक इन DNA सेति पई हमो ना दिया हला inDNA लाइफ साइंसेस जति हमर समस्त चेंजेस DNA को देखिबा और DNA चेंजेस सहित हमरो डिजीज सहित कोरिलेट करिबा। इट इज इंडियाज फर्स्ट DNA कंपनी इंडिजिनस हमरो मेक इन इंडिया कंपनी सो इंडिया सहित नाम राइम करिकी inDNA दिया हला और हमरो मेन कार्य होची DNA भीतर देखा चेंजेस देखा डिजीज से कोरिलेट।
ओके डॉक्टर बैनर्जी जमती आपन कहले जे इंडिया रो फर्स्ट ए भली लैब तो ओडिशा काहे की ओडिशा रे काहे की ईस्टर्न इंडिया रे तो बहुत जगह रे आपन करि पारथांते।
हां आई एम पर्सन born and brought up in eastern India. My native place is in Jharkhand but पिला बेले जते बडे मु जगन्नाथ पुरी आस्थिले बापा मा सहित I had a complete spiritual connection to this place and every time I used to think that this will be my place where I will work, I will live and I will grow. And when I finished my education training and professional training in US and Singapore, I came back to India and I saw Bhubaneswar has earned a name for itself in the whole country as the silently growing fastest city in this country. And jatebele nuwa sarkar asile it has been designated as the smartest city of India. So I think I have not made a wrong choice. I am living in the best city of the country.
Hope our scope duita jaka achi. Okay. Objective of inDNA.
Okay, inDNA has been established to look into the DNA based changes for managing the diseases of 21st century. 21st century kon disease of pradhan. Now, if you ask me what is the number one killer in the world today, previously 5 years ago it was cardiovascular disease, but unfortunately cancer has overtaken cardiovascular. So number one killer is cancer, second is cardiovascular, and then other lifestyle diseases like diabetes, infectious diseases and all. Now there is no one cause for this disease, there are multiple causes. So therefore you have to see these changes early and DNA is the software of your living cell. So every last 20 years is a technology revolution globally. We have now technology to look these changes in DNA. So we are slowly moving from blood based diagnostic to DNA based diagnostic. Western countries are already these changes has started. In India we have seen these changes since last couple of decades. So inDNA has taken the first step to personalize and prevent and predict diseases by looking into the changes of DNA.
ओके जेमती आपण निजे भी कहले जे डायग्नोसिस करिवार जो प्रक्रिया अछि ता बदलुछि समय आवश्यकता को नेकरी जेमती आमे अगरु ब्लड सेरम स्पुटम टिश्यू ए सब रो डायग्नोसिस करा होतला आपण कहउछंती एबे डीएनए स्टडीज ऊपर बहुत इंपोर्टेंस दिया होछि इंपोर्टेंट देबा उचित मध्य से दृष्टिकोण रो कोन आउ कोन से लैब नहंती जो माने डीएनए टेस्टिंग करूछंती वर्तमान जेनेटिक स्टडीज करूछंती
इंडिया रे हमरो डीएनए स्टडीज ता इंस्टीट्यूशनल बेसिस रे स्टार्ट होइतला So we have national institutes in Hyderabad, in Delhi, in Chennai, in Bangalore, in Calcutta, even in Bhubaneswar, ILS. So these are all research institutes where DNA research in various fields are happening, sponsored by various research agencies from the government. Now, after the Human Genome Project, now Human Genome Project, I think, is one of the biggest leap mankind has taken in the field of life sciences. It is like going to the moon. How? Now we have mapped 3.4 billion bases which is present in one single cell. As I told you, our life journey starts with one single cell. So from bacteria to man, every organism on earth has DNA as their software. Okay. So we have mapped the entire DNA of human species. Say project US, federal government of US, UK and Japan, this तीनटा country मिसी कोरथिला, and after 2002-03 we have completed the entire human genome mapping. Post that, it took us 5-6 years to understand the information and correlate with the disease. Okay. Then various labs have come up. So when I finished my training and came to India, I always wanted to set up a facility, particularly in Eastern India, which is always a place of culture and food and good life and religion. But when people say about technology and science, they all go to Bangalore, Chennai, Bombay. So I wanted to make Eastern India count in the DNA map. So I started this lab in Bhubaneswar. inDNA ର collaboration କେମିତି ଅଛି, national, local ଏବଂ international collaboration? See, we have a DNA community. Okay. So DNA community means people who does DNA research. So I did my training in Ramchandra Medical College, Chennai. It is one of the first medical college in the country to do a postgraduate program, masters in human genetics. So when we were the formative batches in the year 99-2000 when Human Genome Project was going on, and then I did my PhD in Dr. Sridevi Hegde at Bangalore Manipal Hospital, did my postdoc at National University of Singapore, and then went to US in Baylor College of Medicine in stem cell biotechnology, and I came back. So we have a footprint of this DNA science across the world and in India. So we network, we talk, we share and we learn every day. DNA community जेमती आपण कहिले से DNA community रे inDNA रो stand कोठी अछि एवं आपण कोठी नबा पई चाहू छंती. सेमती किछ नै, we are not thinking that we are the number 1 or we are number 7 or number 5. एमती किछि हमरो भितरे किछि ranking नै. But what we intend to do is we want to make DNA testing a routine affair. जेमती blood आपनो कोइले sputum, serum, blood, tissue, saliva, tissue, এই সমস্ত material রে DNA আছে. So what we look in those materials now is proteins. We see protein changes. Now proteins are your effect. Cause happens in DNA. Okay. So we want to go to the root and cause and then correlate with the disease. Okay. जेते बेले भी आमे वर्तमान हेल्थ सिस्टम भीतर को जिबा सेठी हमको निश्चय गोटे प्री कोविड एवं पोस्ट कोविड एरा रे भाग करबा को पड़िबो. से दृष्टिकोण रो प्री कोविड रो सिचुएशन केमती थिला, ड्यूरिंग कोविड आपण मानकर कोन काम थिला, कंट्रीब्यूशन कोन थिला एवं एबे आपण पोस्ट कोविड रे केमती सिचुएशन को फेस करूचंती एवं रिसर्च वर्क को नै केते सैटिस्फाइड अछि? इट्स अ वेरी इंपोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. And really the pandemic which we have seen, the COVID pandemic, I don't think so in the human civilization ete bodo pandemic hoichi. If you talk Spanish flu or any other flu, such a big because at this moment Earth has the highest number of population it had ever had, human population. We have more than 850 crore people living on Earth. In that situation, this pandemic is one of the biggest pandemics. So we have to definitely talk pre-COVID and post-COVID era. And jetebede you had 1.5 years of lockdown, occasional lockdowns, and people, everything was standstill. Now there is no holiday. Still we are living with the disease. Era. Yes. So there is no holiday for disease. ଆମର disease केवे holiday vacation नहीं you take vacation, you go for celebrations, but आपन जदि disease थिबे body रे किछि change होथिबे से केवे भी holiday नेबेनी. So during COVID your diabetes was also there, obesity, cardiovascular was there, cancer was there, every other disease was there, but unfortunately every fever was thought to be a COVID. But we have different kinds of fever. We have influenza, we have typhoid, we have many other fevers. So
we have Japanese encephalitis.
Encephalitis, monkeypox has jaichi. So fever and other changes are there, but COVID had taken prominence at that time. Now pre-COVID rekono healthcare facilities was there, and it was never challenged to the extent which COVID has challenged. Every hospital, every healthcare center was challenged to their maximum. People were working 24/7, including us.
Are you satisfied with your service?
So during COVID, first of all, it took us some time to understand the magnanimity of the pandemic. How big is the pandemic? Exactly. Is it temporary? Is it big? Is it somewhere local? When WHO declared it as a pandemic in the month of April,
health emergency,
and there was an emergency, and our Prime Minister declared lockdown in Odisha, we thought how to detect the disease. And then there was a test which has come by RT-PCR. So RT-PCR is a molecular test. We look into the viral RNA load in a patient. Even if there are few copies of viral load, we can detect that by this sensitive technology which is called molecular RT-PCR. So Odisha we had ICMR, RMRC, SCB Medical College that has RT-PCR facility, and then Apollo Hospital wanted to do, and then our lab was also identified as one of the molecular lab because we are the only DNA lab. So we got a call from the government, and then we got approval from ICMR, Government of India, and we started COVID testing. That was our journey to COVID. But we never imagined that this will last for the next 2 years, and there will be thousands and lakhs of people. So we were assigned with different districts, and I will tell that the kind of work which National Health Mission, our Mahapatra sir, Shalini madam, our ICMR director madam, SCB team, our ILS director, late Dr. Ajay Parida. We all worked as a team. I don't know how many calls we exchanged, how many messages we used to exchange, but we took it as a war, and we were fighting.
डॉक्टर बैनर्जी रिसर्च दृष्टिकोण रू कोविड समस्त को गोटे सुजोग भी देछि बहुत किछि नुआ नुआ सिखिबा पई लिमिटलेस की काम करबा पई से दृष्टि रू आपण जहाँ भी किछि करि पारछंती ता आपण आगो को केते काम दबो बोले आपण भाबुछंती.
So any research in any era is always it flourishes only when challenges come. There is no comfortable research. No scientist does research in their comfort zone. They always do research when they are challenged. So in that drishtikon, COVID has thrown the biggest healthcare challenge to the world, and we are still thinking and swinging in that channel.
डॉक्टर बैनर्जी आमे बहुत समय देखू लोकों को भितरे हेल्थ सेकिंग बिहेवियर नाही एमती नुहे जे ग्रामांचल लोकों को भितरे अर्बन पॉपुलेशन भितरे जो माने शिक्षित भी से माने देहरे लक्षण पूरा न देखा वाला पर्यंत ना कोनोसी टेस्ट पाई जानती ना कोनोसी डॉक्टर को पाखु को जानती से जगार आपण भावुंट कि लोक डीएनए रे माने आगो को तांको शरीर रे कौन रोग हेबाकू जीव जाउची बा कौन रोग हेई पारे तार संभावना पई आपण मान को पाखु को आसीबे.
So I will give you two answers here. There is two perspective people have to think. One, that you are managing the current diseases. Suppose there are cancer patients, there are diabetic patient, cardiovascular patient, neurological patients. These are patients which have these diseases, they are routine disease. They can be also treated, and there is a mandatory DNA tests which are now being done. I'll just take the example of cancer. Now cancer chemotherapy in the last 2 decades have changed. This is no more general chemotherapy. since cancer's classification, the way we describe cancer, like breast cancer, lung cancer, now we have different varieties. Why these varieties aguru nathila thila, like kintu ebe this sub classification has come because of genetic links. Every cancer is driven by a DNA change. So say change ku amu target kariba. So this targeted therapy. So people think that amu आगु को कौन डिजीज होबो सेति पई डीएनए टेस्ट करिया को दरकार नहीं, हम एई डिजीज को मैनेज करिया को डीएनए टेस्ट करिया पड़िबो. So that era has already come.
Okay, किंतु डीएनए टेस्ट पई जो माने आसीबे सेमान को काउंसलिंग किछि आवश्यक होय कि?
That's a good point. So just let me compare. You had asked two important questions. One is preventive and one is reactive. So India as a country is a reactive class. Here jete beda amro disease rogo माने आमरो कष्ट होबनी, we will not feel the pain, we will not go to a doctor. And also that also will delay that ठीक अछि आमरो टिके मुंड बिंदुची बा आमरो पेन होची, let us have some painkiller or let us have some home therapy or some antibiotics. से तबे जदी ठीक है जेबे तो डॉक्टर पाकर जीवेनी. But they are not very concerned that we have to go to a doctor because we have to see. That is one way. Preventive kono je whether I am okay, let me go and check, or let me do a yearly check. That mindset is not there. से सदाबेले भाबुचंदी जे I will go and check means there will be some disease बाहर हो जिवो और हमरो खाय पिया सब बंद हो जिवो and we will be in bad shape. So this is a wrong mindset.
तार अर्थ स्क्रीनिंग बहुत दरकार, बहुत डिजीज रे स्क्रीनिंग इज इंपोर्टेंट, जेमते कि एचपीवी केस रे.
Any healthy person is apparently healthy but not actually healthy. Whether they are healthy or not, let them get screened. So that is very important. And particularly people who have cancer survivors in their house, or they have any familial diseases, or they have some lifestyle disorders which they have acquired in the last few generations, they must get screened.
ओके, तार अर्थ आम दर्शक माने जानिबा पई हेले जदि आम फैमिली रे किछि बड़ डिजीज हेछि एवं सेम डिजीज रे जणे दुई जण पैटर्नल बा मैटर्नल साइड रो जाउ डेथ होउची, तार अर्थ आम पर जेनरेशन रो काम होउची आमे बिफोर टाइम स्क्रीनिंग करबा एवं से स्क्रीनिंग पई डीएनए गोटे बहुत इंपोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करबा. अच्छा, जदि डीएनए बहुत इंपोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करूची तार अर्थ डॉक्टर्स को भी बहुत सपोर्ट होतबो जेतो डीएनए रिपोर्ट नै करी ब्लड रो रिपोर्ट नै कि जिबा और डीएनए रो रिपोर्ट नै कि जिबा भितरे सपोर्ट रो सिस्टम टा को आपण केमति देखुचंदी, तांको अधिक ट्रीटमेंट करिबारे सुविधा होची कि टारगेटेड एवं लोकलाइज ट्रीटमेंट पई?
एब्सोल्युटली. एबे I'll just give example of all the medical oncologists. Oncology रो तीन ट्रीटमेंट प्रकार मेनली. You have surgical oncology, जते solid tumor surgery होबो, तापर रेडिएशन होबो और chemotherapy. So chemotherapy दिया है medical oncologists. Now chemotherapy guidelines have come, global guidelines आसीगलानी. सेटे all these cancers are basically genotyped, माने genetic तारो DNA profiling होय, ता ऊपर ट्रीटमेंट है. It is now standard guideline. In terms of liquid cancer, leukemias, all leukemias are first chromosomally assessed. माने क्रोमोसोम रे कौन चेंज हेची सेटा भी डीएनए टेस्ट होई कि ता पर ट्रीटमेंट चालू है. सो इट हैज बिकम अ स्टैंडर्ड सेंटर माने रिक्वायरमेंट. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम इंडिया रे एते डीएनए सेंटर नहीं, एते लैबोरेटरी नहीं. सो थिंग्स आर all concentrated in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore. We are the only lab here, and I'm very happy and proud that amo Odisha state re by Eastern India state re we are getting samples from other states to be tested here. So which is now a matter of pride for us.
Okay, कारण आमे बहुत गुडे टेस्ट पई अपेक्षा करू. हैदराबाद रो आसीबो, मुंबई रो आसीबो, दिल्ली रो आसीबो.
भाबंतु आपण सैंपल टा एठी रो जिबा हैदराबाद 48 आवर्स
ट्रांजिट आवर रे
जहाज पड़ी रहइबो, केमती टेंपरेचर हैंडल होबो, सेटा ठीक ठाक बायोलॉजिकली हैंडल होबो नहीं. जेते बेले सेटा पहुंचीबे से सैंपल टा ठीक ठाक रहिबे ना नहीं. जदी ठीक ठाक क्वालिटी तारो ना रहे टेस्ट भी रिजल्ट भी आसीबो नहीं ठीक ठाक.
ओके, जदी आपण माने एकुटिया एते दिन करबा पई समर्थ होचंती तो केबे आपण चाहचंती जे गवर्नमेंट रो सपोर्ट रहू बा कोनोसी प्रकार सपोर्ट रहू ताहले अवेयरनेस पई मु कहू नाही जे आपनकर इंस्टीट्यूशन चलीबा पई अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम को अधिक स्प्रेड करबा पई अर्बन रु रूरल आडू को नबा पई कम्युनिटी को
स्ट्रेंथन करे। I am very happy to inform that we have a very progressive government in the state.
Okay.
Compared to other states, our government thinks very progressively. I'll just give you one example during COVID. When RT-PCR tests were done in other states started with 3,500, 4,000 rupees. We started doing the RT-PCR test at 2,000 rupees. And then within 15 days, our government took measures with meetings. Can we reduce it? We reduced it to 1,000 and then 450. And that 450 rupees test was the cheapest RT-PCR test in the whole country. American people were just amazed. How can you do a test with $5? How is it possible? But we did it with that quality. And our tests were even, people were traveling internationally with our test. So government is very proactive. Now what government is thinking, we have set up, there are good cancer hospitals coming up in the state. We have the Bagchi Center coming up, the Tata Cancer Center.
Okay.
So government has already taken initiative before other states to set up a center of excellence for molecular diagnostic in collaboration with us. So government is taking steps.
Okay. Cancer is curable. ए कथाटा
Cancer is manageable.
कैंसर इज क्यूरेबल बहुत समय जतरा आपण मान को आडू मेसेज आसे आमे माने केबे विश्वास करूना काहे कि आमे आमे आम घर रो आखो पाखरे देखू कैंसर पेशेंट कर स्ट्रगल देखू तांकर लाइफ रो एक्सपेक्टेंसी रेट किमती कमीबा देखू ये सब कथा में देखू से भितरे जतबेले आपण माने कहउचंती कैंसर इज मैनेजेबल प्रिवेंटेबल क्यूरेबल तो आमे को लेवल रे देखि परिबा ताकू एवं से एस्पिरेंस हमें डीएनए स्टडी ठारू केमती पाइबा।
It's a very good question. Now cancer is increasing, there is no doubt about it. Why? I'll tell you. Now you must have seen that every person which is affording is having at least minimum a bike, so pollution level is increasing. Now urban because of urbanization and urban community increasing, the water is becoming polluted. So you are having water with traces of heavy metals. So you are all the time exposed to cancer causing agents 24/7.
Okay.
Because of this, if your body do not develop cancer, then you are lucky. I will tell it is a surprise. Then in your lifetime of 70-80 years which jete bada amro apron jete thore bachiwe jodi apon cancer gote thro bi na hobo then you are lucky. Cancer hoata hi sabhabik ebe jaha amro mane prithibir avastha. So WHO prediction is above 45 years of age 1 in 4 will develop some kind of cancer.
Okay.
But living with cancer is more important than dying of cancer.
Okay.
In this age. So cancer, I am telling it is manageable. People are living 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years. There are people who are living with cancer for 20 years plus now and they're okay.
कि हमें मझिरे खबर सुनिले colon cancer 18 जनकर पूरा भलो हे गला completely.
So we are in the era of precision medicine. What is precision medicine? Precision medicine is targeted therapeutics. Now if you want to do a target like an Arjun do a target, he has to see the target, then only he can put that. So to look at that target, we help. The DNA targets are being assessed by our laboratory so that these chemotherapy drugs goes and charge the target and manage the cancer or cure cancer.
Okay.
So we are in the era of targeted therapeutics, personalized medicine, personalized therapy, and these new terms have come only thanks to the DNA technology.
Okay. मु जानिबा को चाहूची जे वर्तमान हमर बहुत जन दर्शक भी जानिबा को चाहूतबे इनफर्टिलिटी रेट बढ़ुची ड्यू टू वेरियस कॉज प्राय हम सब जानुचे से सब कथा किंतु तारी भितर भी जतरा कंसीव करिवार कथा आसुची फिटस रु आमे टेस्टिंग किछि करी जानी परिबा कि जे आगो को तांकर कोनोसी प्रकार से रिटार्डेशन कथा कोंतु बा आजिकली बहुत ऑटिस्टिक चाइल्ड कर संख्या बढ़ुची से सब को हमें प्रिवेंट करबा पई बा किछि करी परिबा कि से
we are living in an era where we are living in a almost educated society, professional society. Because of this professional changes, the couples are delaying their first child bearing time. So average time a woman is bearing a child is about 34 now, 34. So jetebele age of mother increase kore, the chance of having a genetically abnormal child increases. That is a notion, and that is also to some extent correct. But we have technology now that whenever a pregnant woman is carrying, and if we can take her blood in 12th or 14th week of her pregnancy, that is third month of pregnancy, we take blood about 10 ml. Say blood रे circulating fetal DNA circulate करे, fetal DNA presence रहे plasma रे. Say fetal DNA काढ़ी करी हम test करी कि जानी परिवा जे whether the fetus is genetically normal or abnormal.
The fetus रा 3 months पर organ detection करा जाउची.
हाँ, जमते imaging होय.
Imaging हुए exactly same.
हम तारो biology टा भी जानी परिवा DNA test रे.
अच्छा.
এটা commonly भी
human body रा physiology रा संपूर्ण story DNA.
अच्छा. DNA is your blueprint of life.
तार अर्थ गोटे पूरा कहानी भली आम शरीर रो गोटे कहानी भली आम डीएनए को जतो स्टडी रो रिपोर्ट आसीबा हमें पढ़ी परिबा कोन हेइथिला कोन हबो आगो को रोग एवं ताको प्रिवेंट करिया पे हमको कोन करबा को हबो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को केमती सेत्रु रक्षा करबा को हबो डॉक्टर बैनर्जी जेते बेले भी हमें हेल्थ इश्यू को लेकर चर्चा करूँ आमको कोठी ना कोठी आमर इंडियन कंटेस्ट ताको चिंता करबा को हुए कारण आपण बाहर पढ़ी के आसी बाहर कथाटा को चाहूँगी जे इंडियन कम्युनिटी रे स्प्रेड करिया पई सब कथा किंतु इंडियन कम्युनिटी रो अफोर्डेबिलिटी तार इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस बहुत इंपोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करे हेल्थ माने क्षेत्र रे कारण से माने जाई पारंतिनी हॉस्पिटल बहुत जण प्राय गवर्नमेंट सेटअप ऊपर डिपेंडेंट एवं किसी आपण जानी से स्थिति को से दृष्टि डीएनए टेस्टिंग आ अन्य खर्च को समस्त अफोर्ड करें गोटे बड़ चंक जो मान आम बेसी मात्रा रे वरिड वल्नरेबल क्लास से मानी
एब्सोल्युटली गुड क्वेश्चन एंड आम जिते आम चर्चा स्टार्ट कलु आई टोल्ड यू दैट इट्स एन इंडियन डीएनए कंपनी दैट्स व्हाई वी नेम्ड इट एज inDNA. Now India is the most diversified country in the world. We have the maximum rich people, we have the maximum poor people, we have different communities, we have different culture and different diseases. So this is also the disease capital of the world. Any disease you take, we have the highest number because we have 1/5 of the population. So amro ethi affordability kotha apno koile, we have shown to the people that we can do a $5 COVID RT-PCR test. We have proved that. Therefore, जिते ब्रेस्ट कैंसर डीएनए टेस्ट हो, लंग कैंसर डीएनए टेस्ट हो, ब्लड कैंसर डीएनए टेस्ट हो, we are doing the test in this country here, right here in Odisha, at the most affordable cost. Even AIMS, people who are coming to AIMS, the people who are kind of marginal class or people who are not that well to do, they come to AIMS, a huge number. So we get regularly, we get their samples and we try to give them maximum support from our side and we do test. So there is no dearth of affordability, it is all awareness. आपनो दर्शक टीवी माध्यम रे आपन अवेयरनेस करिवे जे डीएनए टेस्ट माने कॉस्टली एमती नय, डीएनए टेस्ट इज जरूरी, इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड
अच्छा पोस्ट कोविड रे आमे बहुत गुडे हेल्थ कॉम्प्लिकेशन देखुचे एवं बहुत जन आश्चर्य भी होचंती जे बहुत यंग लोक माने हठात वर्तमान हार्ट कार्डियक अरेस्ट होचे और तांकर डेथ होची बहुत चिंतार कथा जे जो माने फिट पर्सन से मान कर भी डेथ होची. तो एबे पोस्ट कोविड एरा रे डीएनए टेस्ट करी निजर शरीर विषय रे जानि नबाटा बेसी इंपोर्टेंट हे गलानी की.
एब्सोल्युटली इंपोर्टेंट इज that we have these 4 lifestyle disorders which are silent killers. People are, I have seen people in the street that they are obese, they are not aware, it's fine, it's okay, or hypertension or diabetes has become a lifestyle now, everybody is diabetic or every other person is diabetic. So diabetes, type 2 diabetes, obesity, hypertension and cardiovascular disease.
Okay.
These 4 are the giant killers. Now during the COVID it has been proved that people with these comorbidities, at least 2 of these comorbidities, they have long COVID syndrome or they did not survive irrespective of the age. एबे जाना पड़ुची जे जहार कोविड होईची बा कोविड रे माने से आक्रांत होइतला those are vulnerable class of developing cardiovascular disease or any other fatal disease. So we have to test them. There is no blood test for that. Only DNA रे हम जानी परिबा कौन कौन changes तारो होईची कोविड टाइम रे which they can take preventive measures. Otherwise you see lot of celebrities who are famous people who are getting their news. Some people who are not famous were not getting their news, but they are also dying.
They are also dying. Okay. Last message कौन देबे आम दर्शक मान को?
हमारो simple message is आज का युग रे ए 21st century हमारो जे life आपण कोविड रे pandemic पार करी आछंती. So today if you think the biggest asset you have is your health. Whether you have cars or you have bungalows or you have a big bank balance or you take holidays in different countries, it doesn't matter if you don't have a healthy body. And healthy body is your biggest asset. And how can you keep your body health? Not with money, not with power, not with affluence, but with your mindset of preventive healthcare. So you should be very aware of your body, and preventive health mane you have to check your DNA. If you check your DNA, if you see that there are not much changes or there are changes, anything is possible, you can take early measures to prevent or manage. People say, if I find changes in DNA, what will happen? I will not be able to manage. Definitely you will be able to manage. Definitely you will be able to delay. Definitely you will be able to at least get to a situation where you will live with a good quality of life. It will not be too late. So you must change your mindset from reactive medicine to preventive medicine.
Okay, जेमती हमें second third stage रे जानू चे कैंसर विषय रे तो हमें आगोरु जानी परिबा एवं तारा ट्रीटमेंट करि परिबा.
Absolutely. So do not take any abnormalities in your body casually.
Okay.
Always go for a health check. And I will also give a very simple message to particularly the teenagers, particularly people in the age group of 9 years to 18 years. Please sleep at night.
Okay.
Because our biggest pandemic is coming, that is insomnia, sleep disorder, and if you don't sleep at night, you will be victim of hypertension, attention deficit disorder, you will have ulcers, you will have all other lifestyle disorders when you will hit 25, 30, 35.
Along with mental illness.
So therefore, please sleep at night.
Thank you so much. Wish inDNA more power to their work.
Thank you so much for coming and giving us this opportunity to talk to you. It's a privilege, and we will make this state of Odisha rising. And Odisha is rising. Odisha, our Honorable Chief Minister, is being talked about in the whole country as the best CM, and really we are proud to be in this state.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banerjee. हमें Dr. बीरेंद्रनाथ बैनर्जी को सहित आलोचना करुथिले एवं जे कि inDNA लाइफ साइंस रो फाउंडर एवं मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर DNA संपर्क रे जहां में वर्तमान आलोचना रो जानिले आपण माने मध्य जानिबा उचित हबो एवं से सचेतनता समस्त पर्यंत पहुंचीबा दरकार जे जेमिति आगुरु आमे रक्तर परीक्षा करी विभिन्न रोग संपर्क रे जानुथिले बा अन्यान्य किछि परीक्षा करी जानुथिले एबे DNA रो परीक्षा करी आपणकर पूर्वरु शरीर रे कोन रोग थिला आगकु कोन रोग होई पारे ता पूर्वरु आपण जानि पारिबे सेति पई समय थाउ थाउ आपण स्वास्थ्य विशेषज्ञ पाखर परामर्श नै पारिबे एवं निज लाइफ को गोटे भलो खाली बंचिबा पई नहे गोटे सुस्थ जीवन बंची पारिबे. आज रे स्वतंत्र आलोचना को एठी रखुची. नमस्कार.